Hello and welcome to AltheaSuite. Today I'm going to show you how we can make attributes and attribute sets. To get started, we're going to go into our products module, and then we're going to go into item attribute. You can see a list of all of our current attributes, but I'm going to go up there to create a new one. Now the name of the attribute is up to you. I'm going to be calling this one chair color. For the value type, we have three different types of values. First one is a text value, so we can type in, whatever it is. So if this is chair color, we can do, red, blue, black, whatever color. If this value type is going to be a number, it's obviously going to be, 1, 2, 3, or a number value like, $25 or $10. Our third one is called lookup value. The lookup value will allow you to preset some values in the selection already, so your team isn't typing out the values themselves. Next thing to look at is this checkbox to whether or not this attribute name, chair color, is going to be mandatory or not. If we leave the checkbox mandatory and your employees are doing this sale, this will not allow them to continue if they do not select a value. If we leave this unchecked like that, it won't stop you from creating that with a no value. So we're going to leave it unchecked for right now, and then we're going to hit that create button. Now that we've created chair color as a item attribute, the next thing to do is to go one up into attribute set. From here, we're going to do a new attribute set. We're going to call this office chair. Now we're going to go over into this field to add item attribute, and we're going to grab the one that we just created, called chair color, and it's got a lookup value to it. So we have those selected, we're going to hit that create button. Now that we have our chair color selected, and it's a lookup value, it only works for attributes that have a lookup value. We go to the context menu or the three-dotted menu, and now we have an option to manage the values. So once we click on manage value, we're going to open up to the screen. So we're going to hit that new button to enter in some of our values. So let's say our reverse value is going to be black, and maybe there's no value there. So we'll hit save. Then we'll do another one, call it white. Maybe there's a added value of $5. And then maybe there's also a selection for red. And it's a little bit more expensive. We'll do $10. Now that we have those in there, we can go ahead and exit out of here. And so those are now added as the lookup values. Now that we have our values into our chair color, we're going to go one up into our attribute set. We're going to hit that new button on the top left. We're going to call this office chair. And then we're going to go over here into our add item attribute, and then we're going to grab the one that we just created to add and added all those lookup values to it. Once you got that selected, we're going to hit that create button. That creates us now an office chair attribute set. Now that we have the attribute set selected, we can now go into our products and into our items. I'm going to go over into our home office, and I'm going to grab this item as an example. So I'm going to modify this item. Now that we're here in our modify item, we're going to scroll down until we find our checkbox for has attributes. So this is when our attribute set comes into play. Right now we're doing this as a individual item, but this can be done in the bulk update. So we're going to go drop down the little attribute set filters and then find the one that we just created called office chair. And there we go. So now that it's selected, we're going to make sure that we have this copied, but more importantly, we're going to scroll all the way down and hit the update button. So we apply the attribute set to this office chair. Now the next thing to do is to show you how this works. So I'm going to go into a new order. We're going to hit the new button on the order. We're going to grab our favorite customer. Choose our delivery mode to be taking the shipping address. And now we're going to put in our office chair. So once we find our item, we're going to click it, which is going to bring up our little attribute set. So here's our attribute. We're going to drop it down, and it's just chair color. So we're going to select that. Now, once we click in the value, you'll see that we got black at $0, white at $5, and then red at $10. So if we choose black, nothing's going to happen. There's no amount. But if we choose any of the whites or the reds, you'll see that you'll get the total item price, an additional $5 or $10 in this case. So with these attributes selected, we'll go ahead and hit that create button. Go ahead and finish out the combos, or don't select any at all. It's up to you. And there we go. So now that we have this item in there, it's got the attribute chair color, and you can see the color is red because there's an additional value of $10. So now you're free to go forward with this and hit create, and that'll create that order for that attribute item. Now, if we go back to our item attribute for chair color, we can go ahead and modify our attributes. This time, we're going to say that this is mandatory. And now we're going to hit update. So this is for whenever you want to make these attributes be compulsory for your team to fill out. It's still applied to that same item, so let's go ahead and create another new order. We're going to go grab a different customer. Now, the next time I add this item into our order, very first thing it did is it pre-selected our chair color already for us. Now, all your team needs to do is simply drop down the value and choose which one of these attributes. This time we'll go with white. We'll press create, skip this part, and there we go. So if you make it mandatory, it will pre-select the attribute for you, and then all your team needs to do is select the right little attribute that you want. Once you're ready, hit that create button again, and that'll create that order for the attribute. So that is a new way to create attributes and apply a lookup value to those attributes so your team can pre-select them or have them mandatory selected for them. Thank you.